Alright. Time to pick another game to play. What do I pick, though? Oh, man. Huh. Little man is up. Oh, well. That kind of puts a hold on my gaming for a while.
Hey, over here.
Who said that?
Down here, you dumbass. Yeah, me.
This is perfect. I'll just bring you with me, and I'll play when I can. Alright, gotta grab a game real fast. Ah, what about this game?
No! Yeah, sorry. You just pick a better one. You know I gotta look at it too.
Okay. I'll pick something different. Alright, I get it. You're not Bill and Ted's. I'll just grab the bright cartridge that's here. Is that good?
Pokemon Yellow?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Good, because we're leaving. Alright. Here we go. Alright, got Raph a little bit distracted here anyway. So, now's my time to play a little bit of Game Boy. Here we go. Pokemon! Who the hell hasn't heard of these games? The original Red and Blue came out in September of 1998. They both did okay, selling around 38 million copies, and started one of Nintendo's most recognized franchises. People couldn't get enough of these little pocket monsters. Then, just a year later, Pokemon Yellow came on the scene in October 1999, as an upgrade of Red and Blue, with updated sprites and starting you out a lot more like Ash from the anime series, not giving you the option of your starter Pokemon like in Red and Blue. Instead of Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, you're given Pikachu. Then, your journey as a Pokemon trainer begins. Your objective is to fight your way through 8 gyms, the bosses of the Pokemon games, while catching all 150 different Pokemon, building the strongest team that you can. Then, fight the final boss to become a Pokemon Master! Sounds simple, right? Oh, that's because, for being an RPG, it really is. Ah, slow down, bud. But simple isn't always a bad thing. The controls are super simple. I mean, it's hard not to be with only 2 buttons. And for being an RPG, it's very accessible. All you really need to do is run into the tall grass and find wild Pokemon to both fight and capture. The thing the players need to learn is how to have the upper hand in battles, by learning the types and their weaknesses. For example, don't fight a rock-type Pokemon with an electric Pokemon, because rock isn't affected by lightning attacks. But if you're fighting a water Pokemon, your electric Pokemon will trash it, because they're weak against those attacks. So instead of having to kill it with 10 tackles, you can take it out with 2 Thunder Shocks. The typing is intuitive and easy to learn. Again, not bad at all. The best way to learn is by fighting other trainers, who are just randomly spattered around. And if these people see you, it means you are down to brawl. Or at least that's how they treat it, and some of the crap they say before they fight is hilarious. The air is tasty in here.
By the way, boy, you ever have a lover?
No. No.
Give me.
After fighting a couple of trainers, you finally make it to the first gym leader, Brock. He's the rock Pokemon expert, which, since Pikachu is your main Pokemon by this point, he's freaking useless! Unless you think ahead and grab a Mankey, a fighting Pokemon that can hurt rock Pokemon a lot. This is the moment I really started to hate Pikachu. But I'll talk more about that later. Once you make it past Brock, you are on your way to the next gym, and Brock gives you the ability to use the HM Flash. HM stands for Hidden Machine, and these items let you teach your Pokemon an attack that they can use in the overworld. For example, Flash is used to brighten a dark area. Other examples of HMs are Cut and Surf. Cut lets you cut down trees that block certain paths, and Surf lets your Pokemon carry you across water. The gym leader after Brock is Misty, the water Pokemon trainer, who gives you the ability to use Cut, which gets you into the next gym, and here is where you have to figure out your first puzzle to fight the gym leader. It's not terribly tough to figure out either. Just ask the people around the gym and someone will tell you the answer. And once the doors open, you can fight Surge! Oh, sorry, wrong Surge. But he is way too easy to beat. Luckily though, these aren't the hardest parts of this game, or it wouldn't be very fun at all. I think the real fun comes from the caves that you have to travel through after fighting Surge. They are designed in such a way that it feels super easy to get lost, but I never have a hard time finding my way back out. Also, most people don't like these areas just because of this dirty son of a bitch. But I'm pretty sure I'm one of 4 people on the planet that actually like Zubat, so I never really find these encounters too annoying, and these are the places to run into Geodudes, who are one of the 2 Pokemon you have to have, in my opinion, for the end of the game. The other is Abra, just so you know. And these caves are normally filled with tons of trainers to fight, so it's the perfect time to beef up your Pokemon by just beating the crap out of everyone else's Pokemon.
Sounds like a day at Michael Vick's house, I know, but if you do it with love in your heart, it's somehow different.
After you make it through the caves, you breeze through another gym leader, Erica, with grass Pokemon. Then you get another part of this game that I really like, the Team Rocket headquarters, or at least one of them. Team Rocket provide the bad guys for the first couple of Pokemon games, and they want to steal your Pokemon and take over the world. Anyway, these headquarters are a lot like the caves, but filled with Rocket members and small puzzles, like this thing. Whee! This is the first time you run into Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket. Once you beat him, he'll give you an item that lets you progress. But not too long after, you find another Team Rocket building. It is very similar to the first one, but in this one, you need to find a key to unlock the doors to get to the end. You fight Giovanni again, and after you beat him, talk to the guy behind him to get the Master Ball. Hold on to that bad boy until the end of the game. Just trust me. Just trust me. You'll want it. Then you fight another gym leader. I think none of them really stick in my mind because they aren't too hard to beat at all. But then you come up on the most unholy of unholy, the Safari Zone. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, Sad, calm down. It's just a game. Well, you're right. But the Safari Zone is hands down the worst part of this game. It holds a lot of the Pokemon that are my favorites, like Lickitung, Kangaskhan, Pinsir, Scyther. But instead of letting me fight them down so they become catchable, you are reduced to just throwing rocks, food, or Safari Balls. And listen when I tell you, this part is beyond infuriating. Up until this point, my character has never had a hard time throwing the Pokeballs at Pokemon so I can catch them. But in the Safari Zone, my character must have had his arms broken and replaced with twigs, because he misses almost every damn throw. Oh, I didn't even know that was freaking possible. And of course, all of the Pokemon you want to catch are the hardest to catch. And they don't always show up either. It's just a crapshoot, and more often than not, they all just run away. After this part of the game and spending literal hours just trying to catch 4 Pokemon, my patience began to run thin. By the grace of God, I somehow caught the ones I wanted to and leave. To be greeted by another cave. Oh, yes. Actual gameplay again. Mew be praised! I run through a lot more trainers, fight a couple more gym leaders. Before I know it, I already have all 8 gym badges, which brings me to the equivalent of the final boss in Pokemon Yellow. It takes place in the form of the Final 4. These trainers are the best of the best. First, Lorelei. She has powerful water and ice Pokemon, which means you have to think of a different way to kick their butt than with the grass Pokemon, since ice attacks kick their butt. Electric could work fine. But I do have to admit, by this time I had gotten sick of how super weak Pikachu was, so I got rid of him.
Back off a little bit.
I hate you, Pikachu. I hate you. You're so worthless. You suck!
So instead of relying on electric attacks, I relied on my Alakazam, who promptly kicked her butt. Next up is Bruno, master of the fighting type Pokemon, but they are weak to psychic attacks, so... Third up is Agatha. She specializes in ghost Pokemon, who are also weak to psychic attacks. I let Alakazam take care of all of them for me too. Remember earlier when I said Abra was an essential Pokemon? Well, I'm sure you can now see why. The last of the final 4 is Lance, and he trains Dragon Pokemon. These are the hardest to beat by far, because they don't really have a one-hit attack you can use on them. So, I let Alakazam beat up on them as long as he can before switching to Golem. And with Rock Throw, it can take these last couple out semi-easily. I've done it! I've beaten the final 4! Alright, I'm done! Oh no! They really sweep that victory out from under you. Apparently, my rival, Blue/Gary, whichever you prefer, has already beaten the final 4, and I have to now beat him too. This is by far the hardest fight in the game. You haven't had any time to rest your Pokemon after all 4 of the fights leading to this. And his Pokemon are varied. Every type is different. If you haven't been making all of your Pokemon strong as you've made it through the game, this fight will be extra tough. I finally beat him, and then the true ending happens. My team and I are put into the Hall of Fame, and I'm free to roam any part of the world I want to continue grinding to get all 150 Pokemon. And the one important place that beating the game lets you go is the Unknown Dungeon. And no, I'm not calling it that because I don't know what it's called. It's just called the Unknown Dungeon. And you can catch Mewtwo in there. And I know for all of you sticklers out there that are like, but sad, there are 151 Pokemon, not 150. Well, not in the game. You can't catch Mew, like, through normal channels. Sure, you can cheat or use the Game Shark or something to get it, but not normally, so I'm not counting him. Alright. Pokemon Yellow. It is a mixed bag of positive and negative things. But one of the more positive things about it is its portability aspect. I can take this bad boy pretty much anywhere and play whenever the heck I want. Because as a stay-at-home dad, I don't really get a whole lot of time to myself. Hey, hold up, I'm pooping! Let me play! Another great thing about Pokemon Yellow is just how easy it is. I mean, seriously, you pick this bad boy up and you're addicted almost immediately to it. But especially for younger gamers that are just trying to get into RPGs, this is a great place to start. Plus, the music on this game is fantastic. It's got a great range, especially for being a Game Boy game. And the thrill of catching new Pokemon and figuring out which ones really mesh with your team and just figuring out your style makes it a hard game to put down. But that is where my praises end, because with this version of Pokemon, you don't get to pick your starter Pokemon. You're stuck with Pikachu. And I know a lot of people really like Pikachu, but I really hate Pikachu for fighting. He's so weak. Another thing that I just don't like about these games is that you have to have more than one to get all 150 Pokemon. And I know it was really cool back in the day, and you're like, oh, hey, you want to trade this for this? And you're like, hells yeah, I do. But it's a lot less fun trying to get certain Pokemon today, and just way more sad.
Hey man, do you want to trade an Electabuzz for a Magmar? Oh man, do I? Oh my god, I'm so alone. Getting these Pokemon though.
Another thing about Pokemon Yellow is that it's way too easy. Which, I know what you're thinking. Sad, you just said it was really good because it's too easy. I know, it's kind of a double standard on this one. Because as an older gamer that beats a lot of games, it's just, you can just literally walk through it. I had no challenge whatsoever beating this game. But for a younger player trying to get into RPGs, it's great. But for me, it's too easy. And another thing that got me right out of this game is the fucking Safari Zone. I hate the Safari Zone. It is so unfair. There's no planning. You don't have to strategize or even attack these Pokemon to try to catch them. It all just comes down to if the damn game wants you to catch that Scyther or not. It's really not fun, and I fucking hate the Safari Zone. All in all, Pokemon Yellow isn't the best game I've ever played, but it's also not the worst game I've ever played. It's a simple RPG that you can have a lot of fun with, but it just lacks the depth and the challenge that I prefer. So I'm going to give Pokemon Yellow a 5 out of 10 for being a pretty fun game, but there are other games out there that are more worth your time. Alright, thanks for coming by and watching another one of my videos. And let me know if you guys enjoyed this or not. I'm trying a couple of things that are new, and if you like it, I'm going to keep doing it that way. But if you don't, I'm more than happy to change it. But let me know if you guys are going to be getting the new Pokemon game that's coming out in just a day or two. And if you are, which version you getting? Because I'm getting the Eevee one. Never will I grab the Pikachu one again. And now you know why. But thanks for coming by, and I will see you guys next time.